Hello, hi, how are you? I've never done a video like this before, so this should be extremely interesting. So bear with me as I kind of figure all of this out. Hello, my name is Asher, and I am making this video to help any of my family or my friends, or even just people who need that kind of any kind of support or encouragement, by just providing my own journey and putting it out there. And I don't think I would have had the confidence to do anything like this even just a year ago. You know, I couldn't have coped with just the anxiety of it all. And I still have a little bit of nerves, but that's all right. I have a little dog that helps me out and whatnot, and my mental health is in a really good place, and so I think it was time to kind of start this process. And by this process, I mean maybe making a vlog so that people like you, or my family or my friends can watch my journey through the next however long. You know, it's gonna be quite a journey. I am transgender. There it is. I said it. I'm transgender. I finally have come to a place of acceptance about that, and it's something that I couldn't cope with a long time ago. I went through too much. Too many people kept telling me I wasn't man enough, or it was not right for you to, want to be a man, and there's a lot of connotations that go with man that not, isn't always positive. And so I had that fear, and I had fear of turning into somebody that I never wanted to be, and I was seeing other trans people that weren't doing it under medical care, that were not doing well, and I was afraid that something like that was going to happen. I didn't want to put my marriage at risk, my current beautiful marriage, because I would never want, to be honest, I wouldn't want to transition if it was going to put my marriage at risk. My relationship with my wife is far more important to me, to a certain degree, than hormonally transitioning. So even though now I've come into a place of acceptance as being transgender, that was step one. Step two was actually breaking down the myths behind potential medical intervention, which I was gonna not do. Now that has changed. Now in the next however many months, could take upwards of 6 months, I will start taking hormones in order to begin a certain level of transition. So some of the things that are going to happen with that is what could potentially happen doesn't happen with everybody. Everybody's body is different. Everybody reacts to hormones differently. But here's hoping that my body will respond. My facial structure might change just a little bit. My hairline might recede to, instead of this roundness, it might, go back into more square, which I kind of already have a haircut that does that. But yeah, that might just be a little more accentuated. My voice might drop, hopefully, because I cannot I've never liked my voice as high as it is. Like, when I go back and I watch this video, I'm probably gonna be like, oh, I hate that. But it's really important that I make this video as a starting point, even just for myself. Like, I want to see how things change and develop, and in a way this is like a diary for this process. And by making it a video, I get to include people in that diary. And I've always been a very private person when it comes to that kind of stuff, and sharing kind of my deeper experiences. But I think it's really important that with this, it is shared. And I want to do it authentically. I don't think I've ever lived my life in a full, authentic state. And I feel so free and so good and so much more myself, that authenticity is really finally starting to be present in my life in every possible way. I have the support, I have family, I have friends, I have my wife, all of that. And I just can't get past how blessed I feel to have all of that. And so I might be 36 and only just now transitioning, but I'm sure there are other people out there that are 35 plus or 30 plus that might need that extra support, that might need to see that you can be 36 and only just start to transition, and it's okay. There's a person that I follow on YouTube, for example, named Daan. I'm sorry, Daan, I'm probably going to destroy your last name. He's from the Netherlands. His name is Daan Spurard. And you can look him up on YouTube. I'll even apply the link down below, because being 35 when he started his transition, I was able to relate to him, and he's extremely authentic, and his vlogs are just raw and real, and I respect that. But he's the only one out there that I've seen quite like that. And so I thought, maybe it'd be good for, I don't know, good for another person, another perspective to be out there. And I kind of want to compare notes a little bit. I want to see, how his development kind of compares to my own, and being able to kind of watch those videos side by side and see like his timeline. It just adds a little bit extra scientific understanding of how the process of hormones work in each individual person's body. Right? So it's just gonna be really interesting. I'm just excited about it. I'm not going to go into the whole story of my transness. It's just going to take too long, and it would be another video for another day, or maybe I'll include more videos in the future and just kind of like discuss little bits and pieces as I go through. But really, it's just about creating this baseline and saying, okay, well, this is my voice before completely pre-testosterone. I still have to go through my blood work before I can see the specialist, which might be a 3 to 6 month wait to see the specialist. The specialist will then start the testosterone treatment. Hopefully, it'll only be that one appointment. Now, all my research suggests that it will only be that one appointment with the specialist, because that's all that's required, and then your GP takes over the rest of your treatment. It's just the endo that kind of gives those recommendations to the GP to say, okay, this is the testosterone level we want this person at. This is where they're at currently. This is what we're going to do in order to bring that testosterone level up. Keep track of that. And if anything comes up that's funky, send that person back to us. So hopefully that is how it'll go. But I've given it to God. And I've promised that I will follow his timeline, and I won't force the timeline any faster than he wants it to be, because I am trans and I am Christian. Well, I'm Christian. Let's make that first, because there seems to be a lot of debate about that. I am Christian, and I also happen to be transgender. So if you want to know more about that, there's Austin Lionheart also on YouTube, I would butcher anything about that subject compared to what Austin put together. There's 100 videos of being trans and Christian, and he went to seminary and he knows what he's talking about. So if you are concerned about that, if you're trying to rectify your faith with being trans, or if you're a family or friend who's like, okay, well, hold on, I'm Catholic or I'm Christian, and now my child or friend is trans, how am I supposed to rectify that? How am I supposed to support this person? Go see Austin's channel. It makes a huge difference to get yourself educated, and it calmed me down and it helped me come to acceptance, because that was my problem. How can I be both? And it was a very similar development to coming out as a lesbian when I was 15. Same thing. It was that same exact process for me, really, but this time it went much faster because I have a different understanding of who Jesus is than I did back then. A much more loving one, a much more accepting one. So it wasn't as hard to rectify this time, but I did need to hear a few things that Austin was able to clear up for me. So I'm gonna wrap this up. It's getting to be a very long video, but basically I love you guys. I love the world. I love my family. I love my friends. And yeah, I just wanted to get this video out there before I start tea. So that's it. And yeah, thank you for coming on this journey with me, and I will keep you updated.